I was dead. My legs didn't want to work anymore. When I finally got to the point that I could actually see the end, there was this whole like renewed energy. I was able to go, like you saw the end in sight. It's that time of year where everybody starts to think about New Year's resolutions. What I want to encourage you to do is to kick the New Year resolution and really have it be more of a new you resolution. Pick things that are going to be new ways of life that you're permanently committed to. I'm going to talk with you about two things that are going to be very impactful for you this year. One is called SMART goals. These are a type of goal setting that are going to help you supercharge the results you're looking for and stay on track week by week. And the second thing is called compressed annualized thinking, which also is called a 12-week year. SMART goals, if you go and Google it, you'll find them all over the internet. Honestly, I don't know who to give credit to, who like invented or came up with them. Richard, if you can find that, just throw it in the video up here. We'll give them some credit. SMART goals are an acronym. It stands for specific. I'll give you some examples of non-specific goals. I want to get in shape. A specific goal would be that you want to have a 12% body fat, or you want to have abs that show, right? You need to be specific. The second is measurable. Measurable means we have to be able to measure whether you have or have not successfully accomplished this thing. And every type of goal is different, whether it's monetary, physique, how you spend your time. You need to be able to measure it, because if you can't measure it, then you don't know if you're progressing closer towards it and in what strides. The third is attainable. The goal should be something that if you make the decisions, commit and stick to them, that all these things would add up and it's actually something that could be attained. After attainable, it needs to be relevant. You know, you want to drive some fancy car and you give the model to the car. Well, that's great, but are you doing it because you personally have something that you take away from that? Or you just think it's something that people are supposed to accomplish? And the last one is timely. You need to have a timeline on this goal so that it's not just like, oh, well, I want to achieve this and I'm going to do these actions and then hopefully one day I'll hit it. The idea is to set a time limit on whatever it is and then deconstruct or what's the word I'm looking for?
Reverse engineer?
Yes. To reverse engineer this to give you a plan to get there. When you're setting your SMART goals, don't be afraid to go big, because look, the whole point behind this is to get you to do more than you've ever done before in the same amount of time. So even if you miss the goal by a little bit because it was really big, setting it and creating all of these SMART tactics to get you there will produce bigger results than if you didn't have any goal at all. We're going to combine these SMART goals with compressed annualized thinking, also known as the 12-week year. So the idea of annualized thinking and using it to get the most out of the year is taking the type of energy that ends up happening over the course of that 12 months and reeling it into 12 weeks so that 4 times a year, you're giving this massive charge towards achieving that milestone. All right, so look, most of you set a goal January 1st and 1 month goes by, you look back and you're like, dang, didn't really accomplish a whole lot, but I got 11 months left to go. And then we keep going and maybe that happens again in the second month, and next thing you know, first quarter's gone and then half the year's gone. So then you keep going towards it, and then guess what? It's October, it's the fourth quarter, and you're way off track, and one of two things happens. You either start to say to yourself, well, I guess I'll give up and I'll start again next year, or you lean in. If you really wanted it, you have a recharged energy, you probably get more creative than you ever have been to hit this goal, and you produce some massive results in the last quarter of the year. Imagine if we could take that and run that race 4 times a year. That's the idea of compressed annualized thinking. If you are the person who doesn't have the mental strength and you ditch your goal, guess what? You're gonna have 3 more times this year to charge after it. You probably get more done than you thought. And if you're the person who has that mental strength, you can stick with it even when it sucks and it's tough, guess what? 4 times this year, you're gonna press with everything you have and you're gonna murder those goals. A few years back, I trained for an ultramarathon. It was 40 miles on Catalina Island, right here off the coast of Orange County. I trained for months for this, but on the day of the race, I was dead, okay? Dead. My legs didn't want to work anymore. When I finally got to the point that I could actually see the end, there was this whole like renewed energy. I was able to go, like you saw the end in sight. If you've ever ran a marathon or any kind of organized race, whenever you see the finish line, you can always muster up this extra energy to push through to the end. So if you create an artificial finish line 4 times out of the year, odds are you're gonna produce more in the year than you would have if you just had it 1 time in the year. 2025 is going to be the best year you've ever had if you combine SMART goals and annualized projection thinking and put them together. Let's go through and write down our goals and put them through the SMART test so that we're ready to kick off the best year you have ever had. Let's go and make 2025 amazing.